So strategy, I added, I think what we all did the same thing, added a ferment as early as possible in April. And then I changed the prices of Edgar. What did I do? Edgar, I changed them at early months. Changed the price of Edgar early months because there was a high ending inventory at the end of the year. So the lower that changed the pricings. And then I changed the production of Alley Cat almost like the entire year, basically. Early year, and then a little bit like 2 quarters into the year, and then in the summertime I raised them by a lot, and then I raised them a little bit by like 1,000 each, I think, and end of the year. And then for Taj Mahal, I also lowered the production so I could raise them for Alley Cat. I lowered them the early in the year, mid in the almost like the entire year actually. And the prices for Taj I kept them the same since the elasticity was the highest, is negative 4.40. And then I also changed the price a little bit, not too much with Alley Cat. I think only 1 month I changed the price by a little bit. And then I changed the prices for in the early year for Edgar by $1. Yep, by $1 in Edgar early in the year, and then came out with 240,267 dollars of EBT. And for the simulation, I've been doing the safety check. So basically, the assistant production leader for Austin.
Right. And then onto my planning spreadsheet. I took a little bit of a different approach and I did a lot of price changes, like especially early in the year for Taj Mahal. I lowered the price in order to increase demand. Um, just because I had so much extra inventory and I wanted to get rid of it. And then again in November later I changed the price as well. But then moving on to Alley Cat. For production for Alley Cat, I did really low production in a lot of the winter months. But then during the summer, I peaked it out at about 9,000 cases. Um, and so with that, I also changed the prices, lowered them a lot when I was producing less, just because I had so much inventory and I didn't have that much demand to get rid of it. But then for Edgar, I ended up not changing the price during the winter and just leaving it at a static price, but then raising it a little bit in the summer in June, and then also a little bit more in November and December in order to try and get some more money from sales there. And that left me with a decent amount of inventory at the end of the year, which hurt my EBT at $230,000. Um, but I also decided to not use all of the fermenters at the end of the year because I had too much production and not enough sales. And because it costs more to create more cases, I decided to just not use those fermenters and not produce more beer. And then I'll pass it on to Haley for her spreadsheet.
So for my spreadsheet, starting off with Taj Mahal, I adjusted the production order to have a consistent amount of inventory because I knew that Taj Mahal is like the most profitable ale out of all of them. And so I kind of remained like kept that consistent pretty much throughout the year. And then for Alley Cat, I increased the production in the summer months. And then a little bit in the spring, like I started increasing the production in spring so that way I would be prepared to kind of have like that production in that quantity like ready for the summer months. So that way I wouldn't have any like lost sales. I didn't really adjust the price like too much because I tried to like lower the price slightly going into the winter months, but that resulted in me not gaining like a higher EBT. So I changed that back and kind of left the price the same. And then for Edgar Ale, I increased the price slightly during the winter months, just because that is when it's most profitable. And that kind of helped build my EBT just enough though, so I didn't like lose any sales. And then I also, for the fermenters, I had 5 fermenters the whole time, which I feel like helped me also reach a higher EBT. And then for our like business notes for the simulation that we'll be running um, for the plan. So at the top, we added the 5th fermenter and we have it for the months of April through December. So I left the prices, I adjusted the prices so that they matched up with our spreadsheets. We kind of correlated that and came up with some prices. And then we also wrote the quantities of how much we kind of wanted to produce for each month. And then we also adjusted, obviously, April through December we're going to be able to produce more with the 5th fermenter. So we also adjusted those quantity numbers. This is also just like a rough kind of draft, and obviously we'll all be kind of looking and monitoring like throughout to kind of do that. And during the simulation, I'll be the decision maker. So I'll kind of be keeping track of like the lost sales, make sure we're not losing any sales. And then also correlating like with and discussing with my teammates of what they think we should be producing. So that way Austin can enter those production orders.
Yeah,
And
and
I'll pass it on to
then
Austin.
to get a good start on our simulation here, I have run 1 for 220 open. And so we're going to go ahead and looking at these loans, I'm going to take out this building is an improvement one. But it has the lowest percent interest for 50,000 in order to invest in this new 5th fermenter. And so with this loan, we'll have to make payments every month, which will reduce our monthly income and our EBT. But at the end, we should be able to balance it out based on the increased production. And then I will also go ahead and make our first 8 production orders. And these production orders are going to be based on the spreadsheet, which in January, we're doing 1 order of Taj Mahal and 3 orders of Edgar Ale. And then for our second order, again in January, we're doing 2 and 2 with Taj Mahal and Edgar Ale. And then with that, we should be set to start off our simulation. And then continue on as we go and see how things go. But I feel confident with our plan and everything we got going so far. So
yeah, perfect.